Okay guys, so here we go. We've got our comparison video between Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and Call of Duty World War II. Is it fair to compare a game from 2017 with a game from 2020? Well, I think we have to, don't we? As Call of Duty fans, every year we go through this painful process of a new game coming out. We might really enjoy it, or we might really hate it, or it might just be like an average COD. But sometimes I think it's good to look back at the CODs like COD World War II and kind of appreciate what they gave us and the strong points that they had. And sometimes we kind of lose some of that, don't we, when it comes to come to the later games. And of course, the thing about Call of Duty now, especially, is that the game changes as the year progresses. I mean, and if we look at graphics in terms of World War II versus Cold War, obviously Black Ops Cold War looks a bit better. I think we've got a lot more sort of particle effects going on. The textures look better. Overall, it looks a little bit more realistic, but you know, in my opinion, Call of Duty World War II was a fantastic looking game, and it was only really when they brought in the silly like Halloween skins later on in the game's life cycle where it lost that kind of semi-authentic World War II feel that kind of spoiled it for me, to use the proper words. One thing though that I think we have to be very wary of with the new games, and this just isn't Call of Duty Black Ops, this goes for especially a lot of PC games, and Battlefield, especially Battlefield 5 has been very guilty of this, is that these newer games are, I think they're designed to work on 4K displays, you know, running at 60 frames a second or 120 frames a second. And when you then scale that down so it can run on a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One or, you know, a lower end PC where it's only running at like 1080p, all these particle effects, all these smoke effects, all this amazing details and textures that you get in the graphics make it a little bit more muddy and make it more difficult to see enemies. Now, Battlefield 5 had a horrendous problem with that. Okay, so it didn't help that they took out the spotting system that had been integral to Battlefield for, you know, a good few years. But I'm still adamant that if you're playing on a PC on a 4K display, then, you know, Battlefield 5 was probably quite an easy game to see players with. You know, it wasn't as bad as if you were playing on an Xbox One or a standard PlayStation 4, and trying to pick out players who were hidden by explosions and smoke, and again all these particle effects that are going on. So these games like Black Ops look more cinematic than maybe Call of Duty World War II did, but it is more difficult to see players. Audio, both games, you know, are fantastic, and as far as the gameplay goes, I think again we will see a progression of with Black Ops Cold War. You know, what the game is at the beginning of the release won't be the same as the game when it comes near to its life cycle, but they are pretty similar. You know, they're run and gun. They kind of reward that aggressive gameplay style. Well, I know Treyarch really love it with their Black Ops games, and I think Sledgehammer kind of brought that to Call of Duty World War II. I think it's a real shame that Call of Duty World War II was a one-off. Well, I mean, as far as we know, it was a one-off, because I enjoyed the era that it's set in. You know, this is Call of Duty is World War II. You know that's its best era, I think. Going back to sort of Call of Duty, well, where it all started, and you can't cover World War II in one game. And some of the ideas that were brought to Call of Duty in World War II, like the war game mode, in other words, having a bigger game mode, really came to fruition in Modern Warfare 2019. You know, when you had ground war, and you've got Warzone, and I just really hope that with Call of Duty, maybe we go back to World War II and we get World War II ground war, 32 versus 32, because that would be absolutely amazing. And a World War II battle royale done right Battlefield almost got there with Firestorm, but kind of bottled out on the development of the game, which is a real shame because it was amazing looking. And I think that would be very cool indeed. Now, back to Black Ops Cold War though. I think what we're seeing with the game modes that we've got available with this game is, I think it's down to the development cycle of this game. Reportedly, Black Ops Cold War has only had a 2-year development cycle. And that is amazing because, you know, normally you're looking at 3 years plus to make a Call of Duty game, and that is probably reflected in what we're getting. I think they've concentrated on, you know, the look of the game, the core gameplay mechanics, and we're not getting all the extra stuff that we got with Modern Warfare 2019, which I believe was a game that had a much longer development cycle. I think they were developing Modern Warfare 2019 for 4 or 5 years, definitely, because of all the stuff, especially if you include Modern Warfare, or at least they had many more people working on this game than they've had on any Call of Duty before at all. So, I guess the question is, if you enjoy Call of Duty World War II, and maybe you've skipped Modern Warfare or Black Ops 4, you know, will you like Black Ops Cold War? I think the answer to that is, I think you will. I think you will. This really is very focused. It's boots on the ground. You know, there's no silly wall running or double jumping or anything like that. It's you with your gun versus the enemies. You know, it's all about flanking. It's all about routes. There's not too much verticality in it, and I've had a lot of fun with it. If you're looking at this though, and you were a big fan of Modern Warfare 2019, which was more tactical, you know, with the fact they had doors. You can mount your weapons, then you're going to have to come to grips with the fact that Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is a much faster game, which rewards aggressive running around corners, sliding. However, the reason why I chose the combined arms gameplay that you can see here for Black Ops is because this gives you the opportunity to play a little bit more tactically, because you've got more room. It's only 12v12, which means that even compared to Ground War from Modern Warfare 2019, there's a lot less players on the map, which means that you can sneak around a bit. You can play like I am here with an M16 with a scope on, playing fairly defensively and still enjoy playing the game without feeling you've got to rush forward and slide around corners like sometimes you've got to do when you're playing a 6v6 game mode, you know, TDM domination and that sort of thing. Anyway, I'll leave you with the rest of the gameplay. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War versus Call of Duty World War II. Two good games. Well, no, I'm going to say, I think when it first came out, Call of Duty World War II was a great game. It was just crippled by the map sizes. I think that was one of the problems with it. How good will Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War be? I think only time will tell. You know, we've got to learn the maps. You've got to learn the guns. You've got to go through the prestige system so you can unlock the attachments. See what they do with the game over the year, and then we'll really be able to see. But I think this is going to be an okay COD. I think this is going to be a good COD. It's boots on the ground, isn't it? So, you know, where can they go wrong? Anyway, that's enough from me. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, obviously subscribe. I'll leave you with the rest of the gameplay, and I'll see you again soon.
Enemy is down! Crowds on the bridge! Let's go! Rifleman!